up guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a lengthy one. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of my trip from the Philippines. Derek and I spent about 2 weeks there. Actually no, technically the 13th through the 25th because of travel time, but basically we spent about 2 weeks there spending time with my family, but also island hopping as well. It was Derek's first time pretty much past Hawaii, so this was a really big deal for not only him, but for me as well. I hadn't been back to the Philippines in over 10 years, so being able to see my family and, you know, a lot of the places where I used to go to when I was a kid was pretty much a really like surreal experience for me. Just being back there as an adult meant everything to me, and I miss it so much. And sorry, I'm like getting emotional thinking about it. Wow, I'm really crying right now. But yeah, it was just like so nice to see family. Sorry. Wow. This is weird. Okay, I'm sorry. I did not expect to get emotional on camera. So yeah, okay, now that I have my thoughts back, I am just so excited to show you guys what we did, and it was honestly a trip of a lifetime. So I hope you guys enjoy these next two videos. I think I'm gonna split it up just so it's not too long. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy these clips, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So the first day was January 11th, and that's when we left for Beijing. So our trip had one stopover, and our flight was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we arrived at Beijing about 12 hours later, and we got there on the 13th. And after a 2-hour layover, we arrived in Manila, and we arrived at 4 o'clock in the morning, and my cousin Kuya picked me up, and also my auntie Mila. Once we got settled in, unpacked all our balikbayan boxes, Derek and I took a little bit of a cat nap and slept for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then I woke up just because I wanted to get acclimated to the time difference as soon as possible. We basically just got our dollars exchanged. We also went to this place called Market so that we could find some lanzones. And lanzones is a fruit that kind of reminds me of lychee. It's like almost the same kind of texture, but it has this really big seed in it, and then there's like little sections of it, and usually they're only in season from like September till December, sometimes January, and we lucked out and I was able to buy some, and it was so good. It was one of the most like nostalgic feelings I've had, and honestly that whole trip was like pure nostalgia for me, which is I think why I get so emotional about it, because I hadn't been there in so long. And I keep crying every time I think about it, so I'm sorry. Anyways, and then we went over to this nice high-end shopping center, which I didn't end up recording, but it was kind of just, you know, to walk around and just look at the area, see how things have changed and things like that. And then we ended up just going home and having a chill dinner just because we were still jet lagged, so we weren't honestly very energetic to do too many things. But also in between then we had some pork barbecue just straight off from the street, and it was delicious. So January 14th, the next morning, we went to a flea market, or it was kind of more like a swap meet kind of thing, but basically it was a, you know, a market, and there they sold pretty much anything you could think of. There was all these fine Filipino desserts, and they were pretty much making them fresh in front of you. They also had a lot of animals, fish, produce, plants, so it was just a nice way to see what was going on, and it was hectic, but it was super fun, and we had a lot of fun trying all the different desserts that they were making, and we also had lunch there as well. And we also rode our first tricycle. One of Derek's like bucket list things in the Philippines was to ride a jeepney and also a tricycle. So we rode a tricycle that day. It felt like we were on Indiana Jones. It was super fast. There were cars right on our tails pretty much the entire time, and it was like really bumpy. We had a lot of fun riding it, even though it was just like a 10-minute ride. And then we went to lunch. So after that, we had lunch with my Auntie Jing and my Kuya Jopet, and we had a Chinese Filipino lunch, and we kind of just, you know, sat down and caught up. Later on that night, we went out for dinner with my niece. Her name is Chathy and her boyfriend, and they took us out to dinner. We went to have drinks at a couple different places, and we went to some like really nice bars. Their aesthetic at that bar was everything. I felt like I was in Seattle. It was called the Big Bad Wolf, and it was a really trendy bar. I was not expecting that. And then we went to another place called I think it was called Reserve. Basically, we got a bottle of Jameson and split that amongst the 4 of us and just drank the entire night pretty much. So after that fun night, we woke up super early and rode the jeepney, and that was just one of our bucket list items, so we had to do that. Then we headed over to Manila to have a field trip day. We headed over to Intramuros, which is this huge historical site in Manila. So we kind of had our learning experience there. We also headed to the National Museum after that, but unfortunately I could not film there because I wasn't allowed to. And then a couple hours later, we had a really awesome Filipino dinner with my family because the next day we had to leave for our trip to Boracay.